Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts LeeSilber and Ellen Goodwin.
Welcome to another episode of the Faster, Easier, Better show. I'm your co-host, Ellen Goodwin.
And LeeSilber's here.
Whoa, Lee.
Hey, I just want to get a head start, right? If this is about hitting the ground running, you got to be like moving before you go, like starting before you start.
Got it. So this is episode 2 of a 3-part series about hitting the ground running. So Lee, take it away.
No, I'm not ready.
Oh, you've got to be ready.
Point. I know, it's a joke. Of course I'm ready. But it is one of those things where, okay, at some point, we can guesstimate when that might be. We're going to get back to working and back to things where efficiency is important. Not that efficiency isn't important in your personal life, but it certainly is important in your working life. And so, as we look ahead, we have a chance to make some changes, to be better, to be faster, and to do things easier. So for me, I was thinking, okay, one thing we could say is, I'm going to come back from working from home and maybe going to an office or at least interacting with more people. It's my chance to brand myself. Who do I want to be? And in the old days, when we all wore suits, there would always be that guy with a bow tie. And I'm like, cool, man, cool. Like he stood out. He wore a bow tie. Cool. And, or a woman had this giant brooch thing that was huge. I'm like, okay, you could rock that. That's cool. But I think we can now brand ourselves by, rethinking our wardrobe, streamlining it, picking the color that's best for us, the things that flatter and fit us the best. But even more, I think we're all going to be wearing masks. So you could have some sort of cool mask that kind of is your brand. And it reflects who you are. Maybe it is just simple and classy, or maybe it's wild and crazy, or maybe it's just dark, Dungeons and Dragons. But whatever, it's your chance to put a little of your personality out there and kind of create the brand that you want to be.
Custom face masks. There's a business right there for someone.
I think it already exists, but yes, you're right.
Okay.
So you're a genius. How do you think of these things, Ellen? I don't know.
I guess I got to find these people because I'm going to need to get me some custom face masks. I think that's a great idea. We've always say that, when I have the time, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Well, let's face it, right now, you've got the time. And so if you've said, I'm going to brand myself when I have the time, boom, here's the time.
Yeah, and branding yourself doesn't have to mean you have to change how you look, but it could mean how you look in other people's eyes as it relates to technology. For instance, maybe your email signature has been the one you've used forever, but it's outdated. I mean, who sends a fax anymore? Well, I guess some people do, but you know what I mean? Like you would update, okay, basically your email signature is who I am and how to get a hold of me. Those are the two components of it, right? Look at me. I have this title and I'm wonderful. And here's how you can reach me. But, maybe we add a couple easier way, make it easier for people to reach us, so it's more likely they will, or we change our slogan or our motto or our title or whatever you can do to try and spruce it up. That's another way you brand yourself, at the same time making it more efficient for other people to reach you.
I like it. I mean, these are things you don't really think about, but you should be. I really appreciate you bringing these to my attention. Now you're adding to my to-do list.
Well, I think, so that it doesn't all happen at once. Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. So let's just guess that we're going to be doing something more work-related and start at least jogging in the fall. So I would start with September and say, okay, by September, I'm probably going to need to do or will be doing these things. So what can I do now? Working backwards. So by the end of May, I want to have this done. And by the end of June, I want to have this done. And by the time you get to the point where things open up, whenever that may be, you're ready.
Right. I mean, and you're talking about full open up, back at work. The economy is doing its best to recover.
I think it should be what you think it will be. Meaning, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying your industry, your situation, what you believe will happen in the fall for you. I mean, those of us who have kids, we're not sure if our kids are going back to school. So I'm, we're thinking, what are you going to do about daycare? In fact, you should run what if scenarios. Well, what if I never go back to work? Or what if the person that I work for, my leader, doesn't come back and I'm forced to be the next leader? I should start studying a little bit about leadership. What if, the kids don't go back to school? I should start thinking about, teaming up with other parents to work on some sort of a system where we can homeschool, keep an eye on the kids, whatever it is. It's what if scenarios. And then also when we come up with what we think it may be, working backwards, what do I need to do now to prepare for that?
And I would take it even a step further and go with not just the what if, but what if, and then add obstacles, even more obstacles. What if the kids don't go back to school? I go back to school. I'm in a leadership role. I mean, run a bunch of scenarios. So because right now you have the time to sit and go through them, run some scenarios, become the NASA of your own world, run all the scenarios.
NASA, yeah, that's great. I mean, NASA's the perfect example where they have a plan B and a plan C and and they run all. I mean, it sounds the last episode of this 3-part series, we talked about focusing on the positive. I mean, the future is possibilities and positives, but in this case, I think we do need to think worst case scenario and what would we do? Because once it's out there, okay, this could happen, but I know what I'm going to do. And when you're prepared, you're less nervous, you're less afraid, right?
Absolutely. When you've got things under control. I mean, how many people were caught off guard and didn't have toilet paper? And what happened? Well, we had that huge run. I'm not going into that. I'm going into, we had a huge run on toilet paper. And which seems like the most innocuous thing. But if you'd, been one of those people that thought ahead, you probably didn't deal with that problem. You've already thought it through. Or maybe not, because honestly, I don't think a lot of people really went with the whole, if there's going to be one thing there's a run on, it's toilet paper. So do your worst case scenarios and go big and think outside the box on them.
And maybe do best case scenario as well. Hey, what if I do get the opportunity to become the new leader, or some people don't come back from work, they want to stay on unemployment, or they're not ready, their kids are home, whatever reason, what other tasks might I be asked to do? And I should start boning up on them. This is our time to study, improve, sharpen the saw, get ready for who knows what, but whatever it is, we're ready. And instead of saying whatever it is, what it could be, and then this is what I'm doing now to be prepared.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's the second episode of our 3-part series. Join us next week for the 3rd part, where we'll share more thoughts on hitting the ground running.